Hello, Mrs. Gibson. I'm so glad you could come.
I wouldn't miss celebrating little Joe's birthday, Ben.
Well, neither would he. Of course, when you're his age, I guess you don't mind birthdays. He'll be down in a moment. He's just taking care of those last finishing touches. Let's join the others.
You know, you work on that left side a little more, you'll be a thing of beauty.
Thank you.
Oh, Ann Wilson will certainly be overcome. Unless she stands downwind of you.
Out of my way, peasant.
Seriously, Joe, why did you work so hard at getting Ann Wilson to come?
Just one reason. She never gets out. Her uncle keeps her in the house. That poor kid never goes anywhere.
You know something, younger brother? I've always thought of you as being something of a Lothario, but I think you're getting to be a good Samaritan.
Well, thank you very much. Speaking of good Samaritans, I hope you got me a decent present this year for a change.
Now, you see if you can slide the wheel on while I hold this thing up.
Please hurry, Uncle Fred. It's getting late and little Joe's gonna worry.
Drat little Joe. Him and his parties. I'll get this thing fixed if it's the last thing I ever do.
What's the matter, Uncle Fred?
Sick. Help me, Ann.
What can I do? I can't.
Listen.
Make me tonight, make me tonight. Walnut woman, will you make me tonight? And love me under the moon.
Someone's coming. Get help. Hurry.
Gentle with you. The Wallace woman, I'll be gentle with you.
Help! Please help!
Woo! Oh, easy, little woman, easy. What are you doing out here alone this time of night?
My uncle's sick. Help me take him to the Ponderosa.
The Ponderosa? It just so happens I'm on my way there now. I surely am. Well, where is your uncle?
Down there.
Well, come on.
Uncle Fred!
All right, now, step aside. Let me look at it. Your uncle's not sick, little girl. He's dead.
Oh!
All right, now, calm down. Calm down. These things happen. They surely do. Calm down. There. That's better. That's better. Yeah. My, your hair's so shiny. It's soft as silk. My, your skin is so soft.
Some of them would never leave. It was a good party.
Oh, it was a wonderful party. Joseph, that's the best birthday party I've ever attended.
I must say, I think it went pretty well.
Incidentally, the Wilson girl never showed up, did she?
Yeah, can you imagine that? I practically had to force her uncle into promising to bring her here.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. Fred Wilson isn't the easiest man in the world to get along with, but once he gives his word on something, he... Oh, I'm tired. Let's go to bed, huh?
Yeah, I need my rest, too. You know, I'm a year older.
Yeah.
Ben!
Mrs. Gibson, what's the matter? What happened?
It's terrible.
Well, let's sit down. Now, just sit down and take it easy. Now, what is it? What happened?
It's Fred Wilson. He's back there on the road.
What about Fred Wilson? Mrs. Gibson, what about Fred Wilson?
He's dead.
Mrs. Gibson, what about Anne? Was she there?
I didn't see her. I didn't see anyone. Except Fred.
I think he's breathing, Paul.
Yeah, give us pulse.
Mr. Wilson? Mr. Wilson, can you hear me? He's conscious, Paul. He heard me.
Better get him to the doctor as soon as possible.
Is Anne with you? Mr. Wilson, where's Anne?
Mr. Wilson? Can't answer you. He's had some sort of stroke.
Maybe Anne went to get some help.
Closest place is the Ponderosa. Had some kind of a stroke. Give us a hand. Did you see Anne on the way?
No.
We better start looking for her. Better take him into Doc Martin's right away.
Pa, come here. What's that?
She was with him.
Are you sure this is Anne?
I've seen her wear it lots of times.
It's funny she didn't get to the Ponderosa. I wonder which way she went.
If anything's happened to her,
Oh, stop jumping to conclusions.
after I convinced her uncle to let her go to that party.
Look, let's get back to the ranch and organize a proper search. Look at Dr. Marble.
It's little Joe Cartwright, it surely is. Nice to see you, boy. That's a fact.
Oh, Mr. Poole,
That's right. Thought you might have forgotten. Poole the Thunderman, in person.
we expected you yesterday.
Oh, yes, I know, but I got a late start from Carson City. Just drove into town this very minute. I hope the delay didn't discommode you. I surely do. I hope that
No,
I
no,
didn't,
Mr. Poole, it's fine, it's fine. Excuse me, will you?
Yeah.
The girl at the undertaker's?
I'll be back in a little while, Ben. Keep an eye on her uncle for me till I get back.
Excuse me, sir. Are you Mr. Cartwright?
Yeah?
Oh, I'm a friend of Little Joe's. My name is Poole. Little Joe watched me at work in Carson City.
Oh, Of course, the explosives man. How are you, Mr. Poole?
Fine, sir.
Well, actually, we sort of expected you yesterday.
I hope the delay caused no trouble for you. I do,
Oh,
in
no,
fact.
No, of course not. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you're here. I arranged with some neighboring ranchers to see your demonstration tomorrow at the Ponderosa.
Well, I'll be there bright and early, sir, and I hope your neighbors enjoy my work.
I'm sure we all will, Mr. Poole.
Oh, Mr. Cartwright, I noticed that little Joe seemed sort of discommoded. And then I heard the doctor mention the undertakers.
Well, actually, it was a friend of little Joe's. A lovely girl. We found her this morning, dead. Just 19 years old.
Dear heaven, just 19.
You were right, Ben. It's a clear case of murder. Whoever it is a powerful man or a complete maniac. Her neck was broken. Excuse me, I want to take another look at Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Cartwright, the Mr. Wilson the doctor just mentioned, would that be the girl's uncle?
Yeah, he's in there.
Well, that surely is a blessing that he didn't die. Surely is. But I'll tell you one thing, sir. It isn't a blessing me coming here bothering you good folks in the midst of all this trouble. It surely isn't. Now, little Joe, I'm very sorry. I had no idea that you'd be in the midst of all this trouble. I'll go away and come back next week.
Mr. Poole.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Poole, I think it might be better if you went through with the demonstration. After all, you did come a long way. My neighbors have made their arrangements. They've set time aside to see this demonstration. I think perhaps you should go through with it, if you don't mind.
Well, sir.
Please, you'd be doing me a favor.
Can I go in and talk to him yet?
Talk to him.
Yeah, he might have seen something last night. Might be able to help us find the killer.
How? He's paralyzed. He can't talk.
Well, let me try.
No, because you won't be doing him any good and you'll just be wasting your own time.
Look, Doc, I've got luck.
He's in good hands, Joseph.
All right, maybe he is in good hands. But is he safe?
What do you mean, safe?
Look, sooner or later, the killer's gonna find out he's alive. He's gonna know he's a danger to him. Then what's gonna happen? Can you guard him 24 hours a day, Doc?
No. But even if Fred does know who the killer is, he can't tell anyone.
Well, the killer doesn't know that.
Doctor, what Joseph says makes some sense.
I just think he'd be better off out at the ranch.
Would it hurt to move him?
Not any more than he's hurt already. There's nothing more I can do here. Just keep him quiet and send for me if there's any change.
Well, we'll see that he's well taken care of. Do you have a stretcher or something?
Yes, of course. Help yourself.
May I be of any help, Mr. Cartwright?
Well, thank you. The more hands we can get, the better.
We must be careful with this poor man. Even a Thunder Man has to be careful of that stuff. Here it comes. The greatest power on Earth.
Mr. Poole, is it all right to go closer and have a look?
Surely, Mr. Cartwright. Come along. Well, Mr. Cartwright, what do you think?
Well, that's sure impressive. Sure impressive. Mr. Poole, with a demonstration of this sort, you're not going to have any trouble finding work around here.
Well, thank you, sir.
Wasn't that amazing, Ben?
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Why, those south acres of mine could be cleared in no time. I want to be one of your first customers, Mr. Poole.
Oh? Well, which one of these fine gentlemen is your husband, ma'am?
I'm a widow.
Oh. I'm truly sorry, ma'am. It's just... Well, I never thought such an attractive woman could be so unattached, you might say.
You seem to be as accomplished with words as you are with nitro, Mr. Poole.
Yes. Well, Mrs. Gibson, as soon as I'm through here at the Cartwrights, you'll be my first customer.
Of course. I understand.
You know, I thought of something that might solve a small problem.
Oh, what's that?
Ladies first. Why don't I take care of Mrs. Gibson's acres first and then come back here when your son's feeling better?
Mr. Poole, that might be a very good idea. If it's all right with Mrs. Gibson.
Of course, Ben. Would you like to start tomorrow?
Bright and early, ma'am. Bright and early.
Will you tell Mr. Poole how to get to my place, Ben?
Of course I will.
My. Such a pretty woman to be sorrowed by widowhood.
How is he, Upson?
He seemed just about the same.
I can see it in his eyes. Wants to talk so badly, but he can't.
Yes, little Joe.
How is he?
Oh, he's the same. Sure wish he could talk.
Well, there's not much chance of that, according to Doc Martin. I have to ride over to Genoa, take a look at those McPherson yearlings. You want to come along?
No, I don't think so, Adam.
Why don't you come on? We'll be there a couple of days. Do you good.
I said I don't want to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
I understand. If it's any comfort to you, I saw the deputy and his men on the road this morning. They're combing the area. Maybe they'll come up with something.
Well, they better.
You've worked very hard all day, Mr. Poole. I thought you might like to clean up before supper.
Well, thank you, ma'am. That's mighty kind of you. You know, working with explosives does something to a man. It does for a fact. You turn your life to it, and all the gentle things escape you. They certainly do. You're just a lowly traveling man with a fistful of thunder. This house becomes you, ma'am. It surely does.
Ben Cartwright was right. You do have a way with words, Mr. Poole. You can wash up over there.
Thank you, ma'am.
You said you were lonely a moment ago. I know how it is to be lonely. My husband's been gone 5 years now.
To lose someone you love, that's the lonesomest time of all.
Did you?
Yes, I did, ma'am. There was a girl I loved. Her hair was shiny. Her skin was soft. She came near where I was wiring. I wired careless. I didn't understand explosives then. She was caught up in the explosion. I swore I'd never touch glycerine again. No, I wouldn't.
Terrible.
I tried to run from it. But there's no running from glycerine once you've touched it. It's something that reaches out for you, pulls at you. It's like something from another world. Touch it and mountains change, rivers turn. You're a thunder man. That's what you are. Yes, it is. Well, no, I'm sorry, ma'am. I hope you can forgive me for going on this way, but a man has to tell his thoughts to someone. Would you mind getting me a towel? The nearness tenderness of a woman. The soft and gentle things. I sure do miss them, ma'am. I surely do.
Mr. Poole, a man like you would be very handy around a ranch. Did you ever think of settling down?
Yes, I did, ma'am. But never really seriously.
Maybe you should, Mr. Poole.
Well, maybe I should at that.
We'll have supper in a little while.
Thank you, ma'am. Then I think I'll go over to the Ponderosa and tell them that I need a little more time here than I reckon. You surely have a large place here, ma'am. You surely do.
I'll go get supper.
Well, it's going to be a little stiff, Paul, but you get over it.
Sounds like we got visitors. Mr. Poole.
Yeah, probably came to see little Joe. Hey, Paul, bring that light back.
Oh, yeah.
Staying out at the Widow Gibson's.
Oh, hello, little Joe. Yes, I am. But Mrs. Gibson was very worried about poor Mr. Wilson here, so I thought I'd ride over and see how he was.
Looks like we woke him up. Let's go outside.
Yeah. I'm sorry about the way I came walking in. I surely am, but there didn't seem to be anybody here.
Sorry.
Well, good night, Joe. Oh, by the way, did they find anything out about who did that terrible thing?
Yeah, still looking, I guess. Sheriff Coffey's out of town. That new deputy of his couldn't find fleas on a dog.
Yes, but he's still deputy, ain't he?
I suppose that's what they call him. I'll ride into town tomorrow. Make sure he's doing something about it.
Well, a man does what he has to do, but these things are best left to the authorities. They surely are. Well, good night, Joe. See you in a few days, as soon as I finish up with the widows, right?
Good night.
Seen Joe Cartwright? I hear you've been looking for me.
I've been over to your office 3 times.
Well, here I am. What do you want?
You have any leads on the Ann Wilson case?
I'm afraid not. I'm having a tough time making any headway, Joe. No witnesses, no starting point, not a blamed thing to go on. I've covered that road for 10 miles.
Oh, there must be something.
Killers have something in common. They don't like to get caught.
Well, most of the people in the area were at our party. Now, if you just question the others...
I've been questioning the others. Another thing about killers. Ask them if they killed somebody, they'll usually say no.
And you mean everybody else has an alibi for their
I mean
whereabouts?
everybody. I've checked them all. Drummers, cattlemen, even strangers that have come into town, like that Poole, the explosives man.
Poole, what do you check him for? He wasn't even in town when Ann was killed.
I know that. That's why I checked, to be sure.
Yeah, well, maybe you're checking the wrong people. When Sheriff Coffey get back in town?
Joe, Roy's a good sheriff, but I'm a good deputy.
That's your opinion,
I'm
Clem.
doing everything Roy would have done.
Except find the killer. Now, maybe I ought to start looking myself.
Now, you listen to me, young fella.
Oh, now, don't start that young fella
You
stuff,
go to
Clem.
sticking your
Come
nose
on.
in my business, and you'll wish you hadn't. Now, you better get on home and stay there, young fella.
Well, somebody better start sticking their nose in your business, Clem, because you can't seem to handle it. Now, you better come up with something and come up with it fast.
Who's that?
It's me, Pa.
I thought you were helping Hoss out with the branding.
No, I went into town.
What for?
See the deputy?
Do you have anything to report?
No, nothing. Guess he does now.
Oh, go ahead. What happened?
I made a fool of myself. Tried to tell Clem how to do his job. Guess he got pretty mad.
I know how you feel about Clem, Joe, but you've got to put this thing right out of your mind. Forget it.
I wish I could, Pa, but I just can't forget that I went out of my way to make Mr. Wilson bring Ann to that party.
Joseph, we all do things in our life for which we're sorry. But that doesn't mean that we must torment ourselves for the rest of our lives.
But if I had just minded my own business, Ann and Mr. Wilson would have been safe at home that night. Oh, what's it this? There was only something I could do. If I could only find out who did it, If there was only some way you could tell me. Oh, what's the use? Mr. Wilson, you're moving your hand. You're trying to tell me something. Could you write? Oh, God, could you write? I'll get your paper. Paul! Paul, get a pencil and paper, quick! Mr. Wilson, you just hold on. You hold on. My pa, bring the paper.
Yeah, what is it?
Oh, he moved his hand. I think he can write.
Joseph, you mustn't disturb him.
I asked him who the killer was, and he moved his hand. He wants to tell us. That's it.
New Orleans woman. New Orleans woman.
I don't understand. Mr. Wilson, are you trying to say the killer is a woman? Who is it?
Easy, Joe. Let me try. Fred, if you know who the killer was, would you please write down his name? It's too weak even to hold the pencil.
Wait a minute, there's another way. Mr. Wilson, you can close your eyes, can't you? Show me. All right, now I'm going to ask you some questions. If the answer is yes, close your eyes. If the answer is no, leave them open. Do you understand?
Good boy.
He understands. All right, here's the first question. You wrote New Orleans Woman. Was the killer a woman? No, I didn't think so. What can he mean, New Orleans Woman?
I don't know.
Mr. Wilson, do we know the killer? He says we know him. Whoever it is, we know him.
Yeah, but we know an awful lot of people around here. Joseph. Joe, when I was down in Louisiana, there's a song. New Orleans Woman. A song.
Mr. Wilson, is that what you mean? Is New Orleans Woman a song? You're right.
Now, whoever it was, whoever the killer was he singing that song?
That's it.
I can't remember how the song goes. That man, Fred, was he here at the Ponderosa?
Oh, we're so close. If...
Tried so hard. We're all set, Cole.
Wait a second, I'll be right on.
Boss, I want you to give this to the deputy.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you tell him exactly how Fred Wilson came to write that down.
Right.
You better get going now.
Well, as soon as Joe gets back.
No, get going now.
Yeah, but Paul.
I want you to go into town alone.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Hoss, wait a minute! What's he in such a big hurry for?
I told him to go into town without you.
Why?
Come inside, I want to talk to you.
Oh, wait a minute, Pa. I want to go into town now.
Inside, Joseph. I don't want you to go into town.
What do you mean you don't want me to go into town? Why?
Well, you know what happened the last time. You made a fool of yourself. You admitted that. It's not going to happen again.
Well, what do you want me to do? Stand around here and do nothing? Just forget all about it?
I want you to stop losing your temper. Criticizing the deputy isn't going to help matters. He's just doing his job. Now, Hoss will tell him what happened here with Mr. Wilson, and we'll have done our legal duty.
Fine.
Also, there's one other thing. We could take one step beyond our legal duty.
Now, what's that mean?
Well, Mrs. Gibson plays the organ at the church. She's a pretty good musician. Now, maybe she knows the song New Orleans Woman.
Sure beats the heck out of standing around here. Thanks, Pa.
Little Joe, what brings you over here?
Hi, Miss Gibson. I wonder if I could come in and talk to you for a second.
Why, of course, come in.
Thank you. Is the pool still on the job?
Oh, he finished blasting the first section this morning. Now he's piling the stumps to burn them.
He's a pretty fast worker.
Yes, he is.
Here's the reason why I came over here. I had a question for you. I knew you knew a lot about music. Have you ever heard of a song called New Orleans Woman?
New Orleans Woman. I don't think so. Maybe it's in one of these songbooks over here. Why are you so interested in this song, little Joe? I never knew you were musically inclined.
I'm not especially, ma'am. Just this particular song.
Here it is. New Orleans Woman.
But do you think you could play it for me?
Of course. silly little thing, isn't it? Why are you so interested?
Just never heard it before. I wanted to see how it goes.
It's the kind of tune that sort of rattles around in your head, isn't it? New Orleans woman, will you meet me tonight? Meet me tonight. Meet me tonight. New Orleans woman, will you meet me tonight? And love me under the moon. It is sort of romantic, little Joe.
Mrs. Gibson, Mr. Wilson died this afternoon.
Oh, no. Oh, no, that poor man.
Before he died, he wrote 3 words on a piece of paper, trying to leave a clue as to who killed Anne.
Clue? What do you mean?
Whoever murdered Anne was singing that song, New Orleans Woman.
Oh, what a terrible thing.
That's why I came out here. I wanted you to play it. I thought if I heard the song, I might be able to remember back to someone I heard singing it. I can't. I want to thank you very much, though. I better be getting on back to the ranch. Thanks again.
Oh, hello.
Is that Joe Cartwright I just saw leaving here?
Yes, it was.
What's the matter? Something wrong?
They think they have a clue to Ann Wilson's killer.
You don't say. You don't say for a fact.
Yes, little Joe believes that whoever killed that poor girl was singing this song.
New Orleans Woman. Don't believe I ever heard that one before.
Well, I think I have.
Have you? Where?
That's just it. I can't recall where. I just keep thinking about it. Couldn't have been at the concert at the Opera House. It's too cheap a piece for that. New Orleans woman, will you meet me tonight? Meet me tonight. Meet me tonight. No, I can't remember. That's it. It was somebody whistling it.
Whistling, Mrs. Gibson? Who did you hear whistling it?
I don't think I can remember. I think I'd better be going.
Where do you think you're going, my dear?
Well, I think I'll go over to the Ponderosa. I think I ought to speak to little Joe. You see, I don't think I understood everything.
No, ma'am. I don't think you should go over to the Ponderosa.
Please let me go.
Don't be frightened, little widow. It was mighty careless of me to whistle that tune in front of you yesterday. It surely was. But you can't be blamed for having too good a memory. You surely can't.
Please, please.
You know, you're really quite attractive. Yes, you are. We could have been very happy here. Just the two of us.
You did it. You did it. You killed Ann Wilson.
Lovely hair. So soft, fragrant, shiny. Your skin, so cool, sweet. It's too bad. It really is. But there's no other way. I'm afraid there's no other way.
Next time, you just better watch where you're going. It's funny. She said he was all through blasting. We better check it out, Coach. Mrs. Gibson? Mrs. Gibson? Miss Gibson, you up there? What happened?
Poor woman. Poor woman. I told her to stand back. Poor thing. Her neck's broken. Part of the stump must have... Oh, she was such a wonderful woman. So sweet and so kind. She was so sorry for me wandering the countryside. She wanted me to settle down. We even talked about me staying on here.
Well, I was just here a little while ago. She said you were through blasting for the day.
Oh. Well, yeah. Yeah, I had. All except one little stump, which I wasn't even going to bother with. Right close to a fence it was. Wouldn't have been in the way of a plow at all.
Why did you bother with it then?
Well, you know women, when they pay for something. She came out there a little while ago and insisted on me blowing out that little stump, and then somehow she got in the way, and poor thing, there was nothing I could do. Nothing.
You better make room in your wagon. We'll have to take her into town.
Yeah. Yes, of course, little Joe. Sure is a sad business. Surely is. I swear I'll never touch nitro again. I swear it, never!
Strange. Page ripped out of Mrs. Gibson's songbook. Could have done that.
Well, I couldn't even guess. That's a fact.
Like I said, I just left here a little while ago. The book was all right then. You haven't been back in the house since I left, have you, Paul?
Me? Of course not. Not till just now when I brought her in from the field. Of course, you can't tell about women, little Joe. They do the dangdest things. They really do.
Yeah, but this. Rip a page out of her own songbook and tear it to bits as though she were angry. What for? New Orleans woman. It's the song the killer was singing the night he murdered Ann. Mrs. Gibson wouldn't tear it up.
Well, if she didn't, I surely can't guess who did, and that's a fact.
Well, I can.
Well, what do you mean, little Joe?
I mean, I think you and I ought to go in town and see the deputy, Poole.
Well, little Joe, if you want me to go into town and see the deputy,
All right, Poole. Get up in the wagon. We're going to town.
Are you accusing me of murdering Mrs. Gibson?
I'm not accusing you of anything. Just want you to go into town and talk to the deputy. It's like you said, Mr. Poole. These things are better left to the authorities.
Yes, I said that. But not this time.
Go on, put it down. That's not going to do you any good this time.
I think it will. You throw your gun over there, little Joe. Right now. You shouldn't have mixed in. You really shouldn't have. Of course, now I'm going to have to report that two nice people got too close to one of my explosions.
How many others were there, Poole, besides Ann and Mrs. Gibson?
What? Oh, why, I don't rightly know, and that's a fact. It's like nitro. One wrong move and things change.
You mean they die? Why was it always women?
They resist me. With their fair skin and their shiny hair. I want to touch them. But they never understand. They resist me.
So then you kill them.
But you don't understand. I'm the power and the thunder and the lightning.
Oh, no, Poole, you're just a man. A very, very sick man.
I'm a thunder man! And no power in heaven or on earth can touch me!
Morning, Daisy.
Morning, Daisy. How you doing, Charlie? Hey, hi, Claude.
Oh, hi, little... Oh.
You see what Christian charity will get you? I never should have let Daisy talk me into hiring Claude Miller.
Oh, come on now. I know Clem. I hired him once, too, you know.
The day I hired him, he locked up for me at closing time and left the spigot running on the molasses barrel.
I know he's got 2 left feet.
Claude, put that down and start loading the Cartwright supplies.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wilson. I'm sorry. I mean, right away, sir.
Morning, Mr. Cartwright. Hello, little Joe.
Morning, Daisy. Good morning, Daisy. You look pretty as a peach tree in the rain.
Oh.
Hey, Claude, let me give you a hand with those.
No, I can handle it. Morning, Daisy. Be with you in a minute.
Seems to be getting along pretty well at its job, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't go, Daisy. This is the last of the load.
Whoa! Whoa! Hey! Whoa! Oh, boy.
I don't know how it could have happened, Mr. Wilson.
Well, I do, and it's the last time it's going to happen. Now, take off that apron and get out of here. You're fired.
But you can take it out of my pay.
What pay? With all the damages you caused me, I don't owe you a cent.
It's really all my fault.
He was only trying to be nice. And... Poor dear. Oh, I have your favorite on the special today, Mr. Cartwright. Ribs and cabbage, and the coffee's fresh.
Yep.
It'll give us a chance to talk. I have a favor to ask of you, Mr. Cartwright. I'll go get the things ready.
Daisy's a wonderful woman, but I'd do her a favor if I could, but I'm a coward. Last time I had that Claude Miller out in the Ponderosa, caused a stampede.
Yeah, Pa, but that wasn't his fault. He's just excited about getting that job. He got all excited and yelled yippee.
And that one yippee cost me 10 head of cattle. Joe, I know how you feel. But I cannot have that man out on the Ponderosa. I can't afford him.
Hi, Daisy.
Hi. Sit down, little Joe.
All righty.
Isn't your pa coming?
No. Fact of the matter is, Daisy, that he's talking to Thompson about a mare, shoeing a mare, yeah.
You never were any good at telling fibs. Your pa isn't coming because he was afraid I'd ask him to give Claude another job. Isn't that it?
Yeah, but the mare did throw a shoe, honest.
Well, now, little Joe, to get to that favor, I was going to ask your pa. Oh, let me get you a cup of coffee first.
Hey, Daisy, I wouldn't worry too much about Claude. He's gonna find something else to do.
Oh, I know. But the poor dear, he's had so many little setbacks lately. You know, he's looking awful peaked. I don't think he's getting enough to eat. You know, little Joe, you and me, we're just about the only two people in the world who know that what Claude's really like.
Well, I know a lot of men that can handle themselves better than Claude, but to be real honest with you, I don't think I know anybody who's better on the inside than he is.
Yeah, but you and me, we're just about the only two friends he's got left.
Yeah, what about those two miners up in Box Canyon? They're friends of his, aren't they?
Clancy and Tarbish, those worthless good-for-nothings, why, they're not a good influence for Claude. They're too much like him. Well, no, that's not what I mean.
Yeah, which means is they're not getting anywhere. I know the only thing I've ever seen them pull out of those diggings are weeds.
Well, some people are no good working for other people. Now, I think if Claude had a chance to be on his own, to be his own boss, why, it would make a new man of him. And that's where you come in.
Me? How?
Well, now, the only thing in the whole world that Claude owns is that land that fast-talking salesman sold him. You know, up near Box Canyon?
Yeah.
And I want you to buy it from him.
What? What, that cactus patch? That worthless...
I know it's worthless, but that's why you've got to buy it.
Oh, now, come on, Daisy, give me a break. I want to help Claude.
With my savings, $600.
$600? Daisy, honey, that whole piece of land isn't worth $6.
Well, $600 will give Claude a stake and make him feel like a new man, and then we can get married.
Has he asked you yet?
Well, how can he? He's always broke.
Oh. Hey, Daisy, I'd like to help you. I wouldn't even know how to go about
now,
offering.
little Joe, you've got to. He won't take it from me. He's got pride.
Well, think about it. $600 for that.
Oh, little Joe, I love Claude. And he's worth an awful lot more than $600 to me. I've got my heart set on something, and this is the only way I know about getting it. Now, you gotta promise me one thing. You won't tell a living soul where that money came from. Not even your father.
Daisy, me darling, you're a nut. But you're a wonderful nut. And don't you worry, I won't say a word about it to Pa.
Oh.
Hey, Pa?
Oh, good. I was just looking for you. You ready to leave?
Yeah, well, there's a favor I wanted to ask you.
And does this have anything to do with Daisy's favor?
No, I just want to know if I could stay in town for a little while. Just a little while. Then I'll go borrow a horse from Thompson.
Well, it better be a little while. We got to get all that hay in tomorrow.
Thanks, Pa.
Oh, just a minute. I want to point something out about your friend Claude. You remember what I used to say to you fellas when you were little? Unless you learn to stand on your own 2 feet, you're going to keep falling on your face.
I think you're absolutely right. Look, all Daisy and I are trying to do is just prop Claude up a little, that's all.
I just don't understand you boys. Why do you always pick up lost causes?
I guess it's heredity.
Oh, get anything else for you, Mr. Slauson?
No, thank you, Miss Daisy. That was right fine.
Oh, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, that's the new deputy the sheriff took on last week. I feel terrible about you having to wait around like this, little Joe. I can't imagine where Claude got to.
Well, he had a pretty rough morning.
He'll be back. Oh, you gotta move. Red 10 on Black Jack. Oh, here he is now. Oh, it's you. Clancy, what have you done with Claude?
Well, nothing, Miss Daisy. We just brought him back. But, you know, he won't come in till he finds out if you're mad at him.
Oh, of course not. Claude, you come on in here.
Howdy, Miss Daisy.
Howdy.
Oh, hello, little Joe.
Tarbosh.
Claude, come on in.
I'm sorry, Daisy.
Claude, I'll bet you haven't had a thing to eat all day. How about a nice piece of fruit?
You know where we found him, ma'am? It was out to his shack, and he was packing and getting ready to head for the hills.
That's right. They're heading for the hills.
Oh, Claude.
You weren't going to leave Daisy, were you, Claude?
Oh, no. Of course not. I was just thinking, after losing my job and all,
You know, I told him, I said, Claude, you've been in a lot worse messes than this. You know, little Joe, when Tarbosh and me picked up this little fella the first time when we was coming out west, you know where we found him?
Oh, where?
Smack dab in the middle of nowhere. The Indians had burned all the wagons and scattered the rest of the party. And him, they just left there. They wouldn't even scalp him.
That's right. Didn't even scalp him.
Thanks a lot, fellas, for bringing him down here. Hey, Claude, sit down here. Sit down. I've been waiting to talk to you.
I'm real sorry about busting them lanterns, little Joe. I don't have the change on me now, but I'll make it good. I promise you.
Gives me a good idea. We'll just make that part of the deal.
Deal?
Yeah, you see, I'm very, very interested in buying your land.
What?
Now, wait a minute. Look, now, business is business, right, Claude? All right, now, I'm gonna offer you $600 for the property and then not a penny more.
$600? Oh, I couldn't let you do that, little Joe. Why, it wouldn't be honest.
Well, you're not doubting little Joe's honesty.
Wait a minute, Miss Daisy. Let me handle this. Little Joe, are you playing straight?
Straight.
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 He means it. Better accept his offer before he changes his mind, Claude.
Deal, Claude?
But $600? Why, that's cheating, and you're my friend.
Claude, do it for a friend.
Well, what do you think, Daisy? You know what this is going to mean for us, Daisy.
I think I do, Claude. And I think you're very lucky to have such a good friend as little Joe.
You still got my deed you're keeping for me?
I'll get it right away.
Hey, I got $600. Well, what's the matter, Clancy?
Well, nothing, Claude. It isn't that I'm insensitive to your good fortune. I mean, it means nothing for myself, as far as you understand. But Tarbosh, he was wondering what it would feel like just to touch that much money.
Oh, yeah. All at one time. Would you mind, Claude?
Sure, go ahead, touch it. It's only money.
Well, what's the matter with you? You scared or something?
Yeah, don't feel anything like I thought it would.
You know, I broke my neck digging for the last 10 years, and I don't think in all that time I've taken out half as much as this. And now I have it in the palm of me hand, all in one lump. Well, congratulations, Claude. Come on, Tarbosh. We better get back to Box Canyon. We can start digging again tomorrow.
Oh, wait. You're not leaving on an empty stomach. Not when I just come into $600. Oh, Daisy, I'm starved. How about shooting the works for me and my friends here?
Well, of course, Claude. But business before pleasure. Here's your deed.
There you are, little Joe, all proper and legal. Now, boys, what about that party? It's all on me. Steak, champagne, anything you want. Besides, you fellas haven't had a decent meal in months.
Now, wait a minute. I don't know about that, Claude. Maybe Tarbosh and I don't go in for that fancy steak and champagne stuff, but at least we eat regular.
Yeah, that's right.
What's got into you fellas, huh? I mean, here I am wanting to celebrate. I mean, give a little party for my friends, and you two go and get sore.
Ah, fine friend you are. Treating us like charity cases. But who do you think you are anyway? You of all people. Something even the Indians didn't want. Wouldn't even scalp.
Yeah, wouldn't even scalp.
Come on, Tarbosh, let's get out of here.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Claude, you got nothing to be sorry about.
They're just envious of you, Claude.
No, it's my fault, and I don't blame them either. Little Joe, I want you to do me a favor.
I've heard that before.
I want you to buy up those mining claims of theirs in Box Canyon.
What?
Why?
I want to share my fortune with my friends. Now, let's see, $200 apiece. That makes it equal all around.
Yeah, but Claude,
If you won't do this for me, then our deal's off, little Joe. And you can have your money back.
Guess you better do as he says, little Joe. Claude has such a generous nature.
Claude, what?
Now, mind you, I ain't concerned with what you done last night. It's what you didn't do this morning. I had to get up a whole hour early just to do my chores and yours. And I might add that Paul's fit to be tied.
How's your egg sauce?
Good, real good.
Can I get your third helping, Hoss?
No, thank you, ma'am. This is my second breakfast this morning already anyhow. Better than first one, too. Don't you tell Hopsing I said that to you. Paul sent me in to fetch you, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, fine. I come peaceable. First, we gotta stop off and buy a couple of mining claims in Box Canyon.
We got a what?
Well, no, not we exactly. You. Yes, it wouldn't look right if I did it, because I just got done buying Claude Miller's place yesterday.
Joe, Paul's right. You're plumb out of your mind.
Oh, finish your eggs. They're gonna get cold.
I don't want no more eggs. I ain't got no appetite.
Well, all right, listen. Here's where you come in.
Joe, this is where I get out. Joe, this Claude Miller's he's done addled your brain. What are you doing hanging around with a no-account little guy like him for anyhow?
Oh, look who's talking. A big softy who picks up every stray from Virginia City to the Klondike.
Don't change the subject. Now, come on, let's get going.
All right. All right. Of course, I'd hate to have to tell Pa what happened to that $100 bonus you got for cutting timber last time.
How'd you know about that?
You know, Pa thinks that money's in the bank. I guess I'm the only one who does know where it really is. In the hip pocket of that funny little man with the gold-making machine.
Joe. Exactly whereabouts are these mine claims that you want to go look at?
You want to buy what? You know, if you Cartwrights keep this up, you're going to land in the loony bin.
Well, I'll tell you, Clancy, it's just that I sort of got a hankering to buy this end of Box Canyon, that's all.
Why?
Why, because it's... I don't know, it's just sort of, well, it's got a... It looks like exactly what it is, don't it? A piece of junk.
Junk?
Junk?
Junk, he says. If it's junk you're after, you ought to take a look at what your little brother bought yesterday.
Yeah, it ain't worth a hill of beans.
Nothing but cactus and sand.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you talked me into it. I'll give you $200 apiece for it.
Only 200. Your brother paid Claude Miller 600 for his place.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's my last offer. You can take it or leave it.
Well, now, it isn't worth it, but we'll take it.
You know, now it's mine, it feels better. Hoss, ain't you gonna need the deed to them claims?
Yeah, ain't you gonna need the deed to them claims?
That burn if I don't at that.
Well, I got them here in a safe place. There we are.
That's where you been. I've been looking all over for you.
Well, I've been around, buying up some mining claims and such.
You mean you fellas finally sold your mining claims?
Claude, there's one born every minute. We got us a Cartwright, just like you did yesterday.
I hope you're satisfied, little brother. Get up. Go.
Clancy, what about these here tools?
Tools? Who cares about tools at a time like this? Throw them away! Throw them away! It's all right, Claude.
What are we gonna do about this dynamite?
Dynamite. I think we'd better bury it.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Don't bury it. I've got a better idea. Let's show the rest of the world what we really think of this stinking, this Garden of Eden. Follow me.
I wonder what Claude dropped now.
Hey, we sure had the ruckus, didn't we, boys? Tarbush, Claude, you see what I see? Would you look? Found what?
Well, a lot depends on the width of your vein, of course. Hard to tell proper from just one chunk.
One? Well, there's dozens of them out there.
That's right, there are dozens of them out there.
Some of them too big to carry.
Then if this assay's out the way I think it should, you boys got to strike pretty near as big as the Comstock load.
Comstock load?
Away, stroking rich. We're rich. We're rich. Guys, we blow up the ditch. The children spend. And underneath the land as we blow up the ditch. We're rich. We're rich. We blow up the... Tarbush, what's the matter with you?
Clancy, we don't own that property no more. Wait, what? We done sold them claims to him. To him?
Why, you swindling son of a stuffed monkey, why, I'll drive your feet up behind your ears, you big buffoon! Oh, I did land on an uppercut when I was young, but I can't seem to reach...
Clancy, stop it!
Where are you?
It wasn't him, it was me. Hoss just made the deal. I bought the mine.
You! You, why, you sneaking, double-crossing little weasel, I'll strangle you!
And you know why?
Clancy!
You know why he bought it? So he could share his good fortune with two friends who wouldn't even sit down and have dinner with him.
Not that I blamed you for it. I understood. I mean, your pride and all. The only way I could think of to share my money with you was to buy your claims. But I could never run a thing as big as this all by myself. Oh, you know I'll cut you in, fellas. After all, I'm the owner. I mean, I own it all. I own it all. Daisy, we're rich. I love you. Will you marry me?
Oh, Claude!
But first, we'll have to measure the streets.
Measure the streets? For what?
For a red carpet. For my queen on our wedding day.
Oh.
Well, good morning, Miss Daisy.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Cartwright.
How are you?
Hello, little Joe.
Oh, I must have missed today, Daisy. You look like Sunday.
That's just how I feel. Claude's coming back today.
Coming back?
I didn't know the Silver Baron was out of town.
Oh, yes, he went down to San Francisco, ordering machinery and Lord knows what all.
Oh, well, Daisy, I've sort of been expecting an invitation for the big event.
We haven't set the date yet, Claude being so busy. He took Clancy and Tarbush with him.
Well, don't put that date off too long. We haven't had a good party here since last Saturday night.
Oh, my gracious. Excuse me.
And the meek shall inherit the earth.
Is that Claude Miller?
Daisy! Oh, hello, Mr. Cartwright. Say, send me that bill for 10 head of cattle, will you? And, Ben, if you ever need anything in the way of money, call on me.
Everybody ridiculing him. Wish people wouldn't do that.
Well, I guess the harder they laugh at him, the more they forget their own foolishness. Well, Daisy will take good care of them. Better get back. Got a lot of work to do at the ranch, and you've got to help Adam and cross the city with those yearlings.
Right.
It didn't get ripped at all, Claude. All it needs is a good brushing.
Mr. Miller?
Hmm? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Just a minute. A little something for your trouble.
No trouble at all. My pleasure.
Oh. Guess they're still laughing at me.
You know, you don't have to put up with that sort of thing anymore, Mr. Miller. You can buy them and sell them.
You're next on my list, Thompson.
Why, you little worm. I'll break you in two.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Slauson. I won't forget that. Say, how much does the sheriff pay you a day?
$2 a day and meals?
I'll give you $5 if you come to work for me. Naturally, I'd expect you to protect my interests, and there would be some paperwork, so let's make it $6. How does that strike you?
You're the boss, Mr. Miller.
What in thunder's going on around here?
Your little friend, Mr. Miller, bought up all the mortgages from the bank, that's what.
By that little son of a gun.
Mr. Miller, I hate to bother you with these small details, but I need your signature on these papers.
Oh, of course, of course.
It's nothing that needs reading, Mr. Miller. It's just invoices for that new equipment.
Oh, well, if that's all, yes.
I'd better get those supplies ready. Pa needs that coal oil in a hurry.
Right away.
There's one more, Miss Miller.
Oh. Little Joe? Little Joe, where you been keeping yourself?
Hey, Claude, how you doing?
Fine.
Well, I haven't seen you in a long time. I didn't know you had such a head for business. You made a lot of changes around here, a lot of changes.
Well, I guess I have branched out some.
Uh-huh, say. Hey, you mind?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Hey, what about the mine? Doesn't that keep you pretty busy?
The mine? Oh, yes, the mine. Oh, silver pouring out just like I figured. Thousands of dollars a day. Or is it a week? Well, Slauson's got the exact figures.
Slauson?
Mm-hmm. He's working for me now. It's more than I can handle by myself.
I see. Hey, what about you and Daisy? You set the date yet?
Daisy? Well, no, not yet. Well, I gotta be going. Lots of things to attend to. Good to see you, little Joe.
Good to see you, Claude.
You, Claude Miller.
Oh, something I can do for you, Harvey?
Do for me? You've done it. You've ruined me. You've got my home, my farm, everything. Everything except this. $1. Now you get out and you pick that up. You put it in your pocket. So you'll have everything I got before I kill you.
Harvey's dead. You killed him.
He pulled a gun on Mr. Miller here.
He didn't know what he was doing. He'd been drinking.
He pulled a gun.
He wouldn't have used it.
How do you know that?
I guess you're right. I don't.
Mr. Miller, I just saved your life.
Daisy, I came as soon as I got your message.
Little Joe, he killed him. Slauson.
I know, Daisy, I heard. There now. Come on, sit over here.
But it wasn't his fault. Claude wouldn't knowingly hurt a Nat. You know that.
I thought I knew that, Daisy, but now I'm not so sure. Big man now, a lot of power. I think I have a mind to tell him where that $600 came from that started all this.
Little Joe, if you do that, why, I'll...
I mean, after all this, you still love the guy.
Yes, little Joe. I still love him.
I just wish there was something we could do. Daisy, why don't you run out on him? Come on out to the ranch, spend some time there. Maybe he'll come to his senses.
Oh, I couldn't do that. Why, if I left Claude now, why, that Slauson, he'd gobble him up whole.
Don't you think he's done that already?
Oh, Daisy. Little Joe, what are you doing back in town?
I heard about Harvey.
Oh, terrible, wasn't it? Imagine. A nice, quiet fellow like Harvey, going clean out of his mind like that. Why, he was going to shoot me.
Claude, you don't really believe that, do you?
If it hadn't been for Slauson, he might have.
Slauson? Why, Claude, don't you see what he's done to you?
Well, he saved my life, and he's been very helpful. Clancy, Tarbosh, what are you doing back here?
Clancy, Tarbosh, what are you doing back here?
Clancy, Tarbosh, what are you doing back here?
Will you listen to him? Without shame and with a smile of Satan on his sweet little innocent face.
Yep, that's right.
You ever hear of such perfidy in the sinful history of mankind? You know, if he'd just come right out and cut our throats, I'd have some respect for him. But no, with prevaricating guile, he defrauds his benefactors, then he leaves them to die way out of the end of nowhere.
But what did I do, Clancy?
What did you do? Why, you black-hearted, two-faced, faithless ghost of a bug, I'll squash you.
Hey, Clancy, wait a minute. What's this all about now?
You heard him yourself, little Joe. After stealing Box Canyon from us, he said he'd cut us in. Well, he cut us in, all right. He cut us in little pieces.
Yeah, right in little pieces. And then he left us in San Francisco and didn't send us the money like he promised he would.
Now, what's that?
Mr. Miller, I'll take care of this.
Oh, and just who are you to butt in on a discussion with friends? I mean, former friends.
Mr. Slauson works for me.
Oh, he does he? Well, in that case, he works for us, too. You see, we happen to be his partners in Box Canyon.
You have signed papers?
Signed papers? Well, we got Claude's word. Is that a little more of your prevaricating guile?
Well, you wouldn't understand. This is business. Oh, of course, I expect to take care of you boys. Slauson, make a note. Remind me to arrange for a regular stipend.
Stipend? A stipend? Why, you withering scum of a beetle.
All right. What's the use, Clancy?
All right. Come on, Tarbosh. Let's get out of here. You know what you are? You're contaminating. That's what you are, contaminating. Now I know why the Indians wouldn't even bother with you.
Claude, how can you do that? Those men are your friends. I thought I'd seen everything.
There, you see? Now you're picking on me. I'll thank you, little Joe, to mind your own affairs.
All right, little Joe, I'm ready.
Where are you going, Daisy?
She's going with me, and that's my affair.
Now, Daisy, you can't do this. Well, I'll show him. And incidentally, Slauson, I got a couple things to take up with you.
Such as?
What did Harvey mean about me ruining him? All we did was lend him enough money so he could pay off his mortgage.
That's right. At 30% interest.
30%? I never did. Why, that's crooked.
You signed the papers.
I did?
You signed a lot of papers. Including power of attorney for me.
Power of attorney? Why, you can't do that, Slauson.
I already have.
You're working for me. I own the mine.
Did you really think I was going to work for $6 a day and meals?
That power of attorney, that doesn't mean a thing.
I think it does. And this is going to make sure it does.
He's asking
now, that
30%
thing with Winter
interest on
Summer's
all those
farm, that's
mortgages.
Slauson. It's got nothing to do with Claude.
Hold it! Now, you. How did Claude Miller get to own a rich silver mine?
Well, that's a long, involved story.
I'm in no mood for involved stories. Did Claude Miller buy that mine? If so, with what?
Well, actually, Hoss bought it.
You bought it.
Yes, sir. I bought it from Clancy and Tarbosh.
Actually, Mr. Cartwright, Hoss bought it from them for Claude.
That's right, for $400.
$400. Now, where did Claude Miller get $400?
From me.
You gave Claude Miller $400.
No, Paul, not exactly. Little Joe gave him $600.
$600? Why? And for what?
For that piece of land. Pa, that's it.
That's what?
Daisy, that's it. That piece of land in Box Canyon. What if they couldn't get at it?
What if they couldn't get at what and who?
Pa, I'm gonna make Claude Miller regret he ever sold me that land in Box Canyon.
Get your hat, Miller. We're going out to Box Canyon.
I think I'll stay here if you don't mind. I've got some business I'd like to attend to.
The only business you've got is out at Box Canyon. And there won't be any business if they finish that fence they started.
Who's building a fence?
Your friends, the Cartwrights. Now, come on.
That's it.
Mr. Miller, tell them to tear down that fence.
Mr. Cartwright, Little Joe, what are you doing?
Build a fence, Claude.
But you can't do that.
Oh, yes, we can. I bought this property from you for $600, remember?
Oh, that's right. He did. I forgot all about that.
You know what this means. This is the only access to those mines. Can't get that ore out of there any other way. So buy it back from him.
Mr. Cartwright, if I can't get that silver out, well, that'll put me in an awful squeeze.
Seems to me, Claude, that you've been putting quite a few people in a squeeze lately.
I know, and I'm very sorry about that, but there isn't much I can do about that.
I don't like to disagree with you, Claude, but I think there's something you can do. First off, you can stop monkeying around with mortgages.
Cancel the unfair loans.
No more 30%, no more foreclosures.
Now, if you'll comply with all these conditions, Claude, we may, not just may, mind you, tear down this fence.
Oh, sure, Little Joe.
First thing you do is get rid of him.
You mean...
Get on back to work. Joe, grab that end down there.
No, wait, please. I have to do it. You see, don't you, Mr. Slauson? Slauson, you're fired.
Claude, didn't mean to be so rough on you.
We didn't want to have to stomp on you, Claude.
You want to buy this property back, you can do it anytime.
Oh, no, sir. You keep it, little Joe, just in case I get out of line again.
All right, I will. Listen, I think I better go back in town with you, too.
You mean Slauson? Well, thanks all the same, little Joe, but I got on my own 2 feet at last, and it's a darn good feeling. Now, I think I'd like to try and walk a little.
Now that we're alone, you were saying?
I told you, you're fired. Well, did you hear me? You're fired.
You've got a gun. Pick it up and say that again.
You're fired.
You heard what he said, Slauson.
Xin chào cả mọi người. Và hôm nay bên em lại về một chiếc xe Vios E số tự động sản xuất 2020. Xe phiên bản màu vàng cát và đã qua mùa nước lũ. Vì vậy giá nó rất là rẻ thôi. Hơn 300 củ khoai. Tuy nhiên là trước khi báo giá thì em sẽ quay tổng thể chiếc xe để cho mọi người định hình được là chiếc xe đang hiện tại tình trạng nó như thế nào. Đây, tổng thể chiếc xe thì các bạn có thể thấy là xe thì nội thất của nó thì ngoại thất của nó nhìn rất là đẹp. Tí em quay cả nội thất và máy móc cho mọi người xem. Đèn trước thì cũng rất là sáng. Tuy đã qua mùa lũ nhưng mà các bạn có thể nhìn thấy rằng là xe còn rất là đẹp. Lốp là rằng rất là mới. Tay nắm cửa mạ chrome. Xi nhan tích hợp ở gương. Đấy. Sơn xi rất là ok. Con này chỉ bị qua một hướng lũ thôi. Nó bị phần nội thất, mới bị phần máy. Chứ đâu thì mọi thứ của em nó rất là ok.